The laughter cut through the bustling mall concourse like a whip. Sharp, cruel, public. Special forces? The man sneered, stepping closer, jeans creaking, badge glinting at his belt. Come on, kid. I've been in law enforcement 20 years, and I can tell you right now, there's no way your mom is running around with the Green Berets, especially not someone like her. Nia Brooks, 16, froze. Her shoebox trembled in her hands. Heat rose to her cheeks. Jalen Rivera leaned in, whispering, Just ignore him. Don't bother. Nia swallowed. Her voice cracked, but she forced it out. It's true. She's really in special forces. She's Sergeant Major Vanessa Richardson. The officer laughed again, louder this time. Oh, I see. Big words, big title, cute kid. But let's be real. No one like her is doing that kind of work. Nia's fist clenched around the shoebox. Her friend's hand touched her sleeve. Nia, come on. Let's just leave, Jalen whispered. No, Nia shot back, her voice steady now. You don't know anything about her. Hayes leaned casually against the nearby display, grin wide, eyes scanning the growing circle of onlookers. Kid, listen. I know real heroes. I've worked beside them. They don't look like your mom. She's a mom, right? Cute story, but a fantasy. The words hit hard. Whispers spread among the shoppers. Some stared, uncomfortable. Others smirked, enjoying the spectacle. Nia's chest tightened. She imagined her mom's calloused hands, the medals lining the living room wall, the nights she'd been gone halfway across the world, and the letters she wrote in pencil. This isn't a fantasy, Nia said, louder now, her voice trembling with both fear and defiance. She's real, and she's my mom. The officer chuckled, leaning closer, lowering his voice to mock intimacy, but still loud enough for the small crowd to hear. Listen, sweetheart, I get it. Kids want to feel proud, but making up stories? That's a problem. People will laugh at you. Nia's eyes burned. She refused to cry, though the tears threatened. Jalen gripped her arm, whispering, Maybe we should go now. Nia shook her head, jaw tight. No, I'm not hiding her truth. Not for you, not for anyone. The officer's grin faltered for a moment, then returned wider. Oh, this is cute. Really, stand there and say your fairy tale out loud. But she's not here. And you know what? I think everyone watching already knows it's made up. And in that moment, the sliding doors of the mall opened. A figure entered, uniform crisp, boots clicking against the floor. Medals shimmered in the overhead lights. Vanessa Richardson, Special Forces, Nia's mother. The crowd shifted, sensing the sudden change in energy. Hayes' smirk faltered. For the first time that day, someone else had entered the story, and this time the audience was on their feet, waiting. Nicole's voice carried across the concourse, calm but commanding. Is there a problem here? Hayes hesitated, words caught in his throat. Nia's heart thudded. The confrontation was far from over. If you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, hit that like button and subscribe. Together we can make sure these voices reach even more people. Now let's get back to it. The air in the mall felt suddenly heavier. Shoppers had slowed, forming an invisible semicircle around Nia and Hayes. Phones peeked out of pockets, but no one dared step in. Yet, Hayes straightened, trying to reclaim his swagger. Look, kid, I get it. You're proud of your mom. Cute. But let's be honest, Special Forces aren't your bedtime story. My son used to say his dad was Spider-Man. Guess what? He wasn't. And neither are you telling the truth here. Nia's hands shook, but she lifted her chin. You're wrong. She is who she says she is. She's not a story. She's my mom, and she's amazing. The officer laughed, loud enough for nearby shoppers to glance over. Amazing. Oh, sweetie. That's adorable. But amazing doesn't get you airborne with the Green Berets. Nice try, though. Jalen tugged at her sleeve again. Nia, maybe we should just leave. Seriously. Nia shook her head. No, not this time. Her voice, though trembling, carried through the concourse. I'm not hiding her. You don't get to decide what's real about my mom. Hayes leaned in, lowering his tone to mock intimacy. Listen, sweetheart, I've seen real heroes. I've trained with them. They look different. They act different. And you? You're just a kid playing dress-up with stories. Heat crawled up Nia's neck. The words weren't just insulting. They were an attempt to erase her pride, her truth, her mother. She pressed her lips into a thin line. A bystander, a man in a baseball cap near the food court, muttered under his breath, "Let the kid talk, man." Hayes ignored him. "What? Think you know sacrifice? You don't even know what it looks like. Kids like you have no idea." Nia's jaw tightened. She felt the weight of dozens of eyes on her. Some sympathetic, some curious, some waiting for her to break. But she refused to. "I know exactly what it looks like," she said, voice steadier now. "And my mom, she's risked her life more times than you could ever imagine." Hayes chuckled again, louder, stepping slightly closer. "Oh, I can imagine, kid. I've seen plenty of soldiers. They're not moms from Charlotte with a kid in the mall, that's for sure." The comment hit harder than the laugh. Nia's hands tightened on the shoebox. She thought of the letters she wrote while her mom was overseas, the late-night phone calls and hushed whispers, the medals, the uniforms, the unwavering strength. "You don't know her," Nia said louder this time, her voice echoing slightly off the concourse tiles, "and you never will." For a moment, Hayes froze. Then his smirk returned. "Oh, I know enough. Enough to know you're making it up. Enough to know that people are watching and probably thinking the same thing." Jalen grabbed Nia's arm again. "Please, just go outside." "No," Nia said firmly. "I won't let you make her invisible." The tension thickened. Shoppers were leaning in. Some whispered. A young woman near the Nike store whispered to her friend, "Wow, she's actually standing up to him." Nia's chest burned, but she didn't move. She planted her feet like they were anchored to the tile. "You'll see," she said quietly, almost to herself. "She's coming. You'll see." At that exact moment, the sliding doors at the front of the mall parted again, and a figure appeared. Boots, crisp uniform, medals catching the fluorescent lights, presence commanding every eye in the concourse. Vanessa Richardson, Special Forces, mother, hero. The crowd shifted instinctively. Hayes's confidence faltered for the first time. His words hung in the air, unfinished. Nicole's voice, calm but unyielding, carried across the growing circle of onlookers. "Nia, are you all right?" Nia felt her fear and pride collide. She nodded barely, her fists unclenched, the shoebox still in her hands, but it felt lighter somehow. Hayes cleared his throat, suddenly uncertain. I... Nicole's gaze swept across him, the crowd, and back to her daughter. "Do you usually laugh at kids when they tell the truth?" Hayes's mouth opened, then closed. He realized suddenly that the audience had shifted. He wasn't the center of attention anymore. Nia felt something rise inside her, a mix of relief, pride, and the anticipation of watching her mother dismantle every lie he had said. Vanessa Richardson's boots clicked across the polished concourse tiles, each step measured, deliberate, commanding attention without a single word yet spoken. The crowd instinctively parted, leaving a narrow path straight to her daughter and the man who had dared humiliate her. Hayes straightened, badge now feeling heavier on his belt. His confident smirk flickered, then returned with a hint of defensiveness. Nicole's eyes locked on him, calm, piercing, unyielding. "Officer Hayes, is that how you treat a young woman speaking the truth about her mother?" The man shifted, clearing his throat. I was just..." "You were just what?" Nicole interrupted, voice sharp as a whistle. "Trying to humiliate a 16-year-old in public? Trying to tear down her pride for no reason at all?" Nia stood a little taller behind her mother, fists clenched, eyes burning. "You don't know her. You don't know what she does or what she's capable of." Hayes laughed nervously, a forced edge this time. "Kid, I've seen real heroes, real soldiers. They're not Moms, not like yours. Nicole stepped closer. Her presence alone seemed to shift the energy in the concourse. Shoppers who had been hesitant to watch now leaned in, eyes wide. Some whispered to each other. Is that her mom? Special Forces? Nicole's gaze didn't waver. I am your mom, and yes, I am in Special Forces, and yes, I have risked my life. More than once. Hayes' smirk faltered. He opened his mouth, closed it, and tried again. Well, you tried to make her small, Nicole said, taking one step closer. Her boots clicked like a warning. You tried to strip away her pride, her truth, and you failed. Nia's voice rang out, steady and firm. She's not a story. She's my mom. She's brave, and she's real. A hush fell over the crowd. Even Hayes' own inner voice seemed muted under the weight of Nicole's presence. Nicole tilted her head slightly, letting her gaze sweep the onlookers, then fixed it back on Hayes. Next time you hear a child speak of their parent with pride, don't laugh. Don't belittle them. You have no idea what it costs to carry that courage. Hayes shifted uneasily. You were just wrong, Nicole interrupted, softer now but with the same authority. And now everyone here knows it. A few scattered claps began to ripple through the crowd. One man, the baseball cap near the food court, applauded loudly. Another joined. Within moments, the concourse was filled with quiet, steady applause. Nia's chest swelled. Her mother's words had anchored her courage. The shame that had burned her moments ago was dissolving, replaced with pride. Hayes took a step back, face red, forced a curt nod, and muttered, Sure, whatever you say. Nicole crouched slightly, bringing herself level with her daughter. Nia, she said softly, thank you for standing your ground. That's braver than anything I've ever done in uniform. Nia blinked back tears, nodding. Thank you for coming. Nicole smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her daughter's face. No, thank you. You reminded everyone here today what it means to speak the truth. And that takes real courage. The shoppers, still watching, nodded, murmured, some offering words of encouragement. The lesson was clear. Courage wasn't just in medals or titles. It was in truth, even when facing ridicule. Nia turned to Jalen, whispering, Told you she'd come. Jalen smiled, squeezing her friend's hand. Yeah, you were right. Nicole stood, gently taking Nia's hand. Come on, girls, let's head out, proud and unbroken. Hayes, now retreating toward the mall exit, didn't meet anyone's eyes. The smirk was gone. He had been schooled publicly by the presence of true authority. The concourse began to return to normal, but the echoes of what had just unfolded lingered. Conversations resumed. Whispers of admiration and respect floated through the air. And one simple truth remained. Never let anyone laugh you out of your own truth. The mall's fluorescent lights seemed softer now, though the concourse still hummed with the sound of distant chatter and rolling carts. Nia walked beside her mother, holding her hand tightly. Jalen followed close, eyes wide, still processing what had just happened. Nicole glanced down at her daughter. You okay? Nia nodded, voice small but certain. Yeah, I hate that it happened. Nicole squeezed her hand. I know, but sometimes the hardest moments teach you the most. You stood tall when it wasn't easy. That's something no one can take away. From across the concourse, a young man, maybe in his 20s, called out, Ma'am, thank you. My daughter's 9. I hope she grows up with that kind of courage. Nicole smiled, nodding once. We all serve in our own ways. Today, your daughter served by standing up for truth. That's something worth respecting. Nia felt warmth spread through her chest. It wasn't just pride for her mother anymore. It was pride in herself, in her own voice, in the courage she had found even while trembling. A woman paused near them, lowering her voice but making sure Nia could hear. Thank you for showing him, for showing all of us what's right. Nicole looked at her, then at her daughter. We all serve by standing for truth, no matter the form it takes. Today she served by speaking hers. Nia's gaze softened. Did I make it worse by saying anything? Nicole crouched slightly, lifting her eyes to meet her daughter's. No, you made it better. You didn't hide who I am. You spoke the truth when everyone else doubted it. That takes more strength than some adults ever learn. Nia let out a soft laugh, brushing tears from her cheeks. Jalen nudged her gently. Told you, he was wrong. Nia smiled, feeling lighter than she had all day. Yeah, he was wrong. The trio began walking toward the mall exit. People still glanced their way, but now the looks carried respect rather than ridicule. Conversations resumed, whispers of admiration lingering in the air. Nicole bent slightly to speak to her daughter once more. Remember this, Nia. People will doubt you. They'll try to make you smaller. But your truth, it's yours. Always. Not just for me. Not just for anyone. Promise me you'll never let anyone take it from you. Nia looked up, eyes shining, and nodded firmly. I promise. Nicole kissed the top of her daughter's head, the gesture stronger than any speech. Good. That's my girl. Outside, the sun reflected off the glass doors, and the mall began to fade behind them. But the lessons, the courage, the pride, they remained. Nia leaned back against the car seat, hands still gripping Jalen's, and whispered, I'll never be embarrassed about my mom again. Nicole glanced at her daughters in the rearview mirror, voice soft but certain. Good, because standing for truth, even when it's hard, leaves a mark. A mark people notice, even if they don't say it out loud. As the car pulled away, the echoes of the confrontation, the laughter that had cut through her heart, and the courage that had risen in response all lingered, teaching everyone who witnessed it a silent lesson about pride, truth, and respect. Nia looked at her mom, finally relaxed. I get it now. Courage isn't about never being scared. It's about standing anyway. Nicole smiled, a small, proud curve of her lips. Exactly, and you just proved that today. The mall faded into the distance, but the lesson stayed, etched in Nia's heart and whispered through the minds of everyone who had watched, seen, and learned. Respect costs nothing, but withholding it can scar someone deeply. And for Nia, 16 and unshaken, that day marked the moment she learned a truth that would carry her through a lifetime. Never let anyone laugh you out of your own truth.